Describe your worst gig.
I can't think of a specific one, but I bet if I start describing it, I'll think of many. First of all, it's when no one's there. There might be other ones too, like where the sound didn't work or the stage collapsed.
I would say one of the worst experiences I had physically was I sang. I'm not going to say his name, but he was on the Rock Boat cruise singing, and he'd been on there all day singing and into the same microphone, and he'd been drinking really heavily all day, and he saw me and we're friends, and so he said, "Hey, Christopher, you want to come up and do a song?" And man, right, first couple of we got real intimate. I know I got DNA from that dude all in my mouth.
Oh yeah.
So that was
if only you could have sent someone in on recon, you know.
Man,
go check the stage, make sure I got my
It's hard for me to even tell that story. It still grosses me out.
Welcome to the Etowah Valley.
You're listening to Etowah Valley Recordings, conversations and music from the Etowah Valley and neighboring Georgia towns.
Hello, everyone. It's Christopher Allen Yates, and today I am talking to you from my good friend Michael Tolcher's spot. And if you just drive a little bit outside of Atlanta, it feels like a retreat out here. You guys, he's got things like chickens and gardens and just a great spot.
Well, thank you, man.
I wanted to talk to you a little, just get some background, let some folks hear about you, where you're from, who you are.
All right. I was born in Virginia, but moved south of Atlanta when I was about a year or two old. I went to high school down there. Lovejoy High School. Grew up in a big family. 6 kids. My sisters and brothers took up instruments too, probably, through high school. Everyone's loved music and loved to play it, and probably especially loved to sing it. See, I remember being like 4 and 5 and loving to dance around and sing, and playing my parents' records. I'd notice, this feels awesome to jump around and dance and sing. So that was about 4 or 5, and me and my brothers would write songs together too, those little family theater things.
Growing up in your neighborhood, did you have other kids that were coming up with you in music that you played with?
I didn't really do it much as a kid, except for play piano and sing and write, I guess. But I didn't play with bands or anything, probably until my senior year of high school, started playing with guys.
What was your relationship with the piano?
Oh, I took a couple years of lessons and then wrote a handful of songs on it. That was it. I couldn't practice enough, and I'd rather be outside playing, really.
Yeah.
But I tried it until I was about 10.
Still, even now, you'd rather be outside playing.
Probably. That's why I'm still a piano hack.
Was there a moment when you said, I actually want to do this? This is what do you remember that?
I think that was in college. Yeah, I hadn't really considered it a possibility probably until my senior year of college.
What happened? What made you?
Oh, I started performing, more and, doing professional gigs. And I remember at the Olympics making real good money, like $400 in a day, and going, dang, man, this could turn into some real money.
So the Olympics have been good to you.
Yeah.
Didn't you do something else for the Olympics?
Well, I did license a couple songs at the Beijing Olympics. That was awesome. Through Hilton.
That's very awesome. But didn't that also cause you to go to Beijing and do a performance there?
Yeah, I did probably 5 of them. And those were awesome. They were in the mountains. So... the events were really the most incredible thing.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, it was some energy, man. It was like the end of the night at the club kind of energy, times whatever 50,000 or whatever. I mean, however many people were there. It's really cool. I feel like the Olympics can take over a city and change the whole spirit of the city for the time they're there. They certainly did in Atlanta, man. We were up all night, up all day. It was a blast. And ironically, I wanted to be in the Olympics when I was running, of course. That's the ultimate goal. So, having fun at the Olympics, but it was with music.
Yeah, man. So we're talking about Michael's newest contribution to creativity. He wrote a song with his wife, and they named him Orion. How old is Orion?
2 months today.
2 months today. Hey, Orion. You're looking at your galaxy? How did you guys come up with that name?
Yeah, it did start with the constellation. Yeah, I was in the middle of writing a song and saw the constellation. I was like, I'm going to start with that. Waking up under Orion's belt. And then just started writing, and then found out he was a boy. So I said, well, what do you think of Orion? Waking up under Orion's belt. There's a crack in the earth, but there is no hell. Oh, the sky is heaven with a billion stars. Traveling time and the world is ours. Is there a soul in here? Is there a soul in here? Can love conquer fear? Is there a soul in here? Waking up under Orion's belt. A lifetime of words, only some to tell. Here for a moment and then it's gone. Fragile and fleeting and holding on. Is there a soul in here? Is there a soul in here? Can love conquer fear? Is there a soul in here? What is there left to believe? It's here in the atmosphere, and it's all that I can breathe. Why are we wasting and wanting more? Is there a soul in here? Is there a soul in here? Can love conquer fear? Is there a soul in here? Waking up under Orion's belt. Well, my favorite part of music is improvising music. That's my favorite. More than listening to anything or singing anything I wrote. That's my favorite. I like to improvise melody while I'm improvising words. Every chance I get, I think that makes it, more artistic for me or more of a challenge.
It's a lot of fun to watch you do that.
Dude, thank you, man.
How did you realize that you love that?
I don't know. I think I used to do it to crack my friends up or rap, in the early 80s. When we do skits for our parents and stuff, we'd make rhymes up. Kids make rhymes up, so it wasn't inventing the wheel, but I was way into it, and I love to write it down too, so eventually I just was like, well, let's not write it down. Let's do as much off the top of our head as we possibly can, and that'll be probably a pinnacle.
Tell me about the most amazing gig that you can think of right now that you played.
Man, June 12th to August 12th with REO Speedwagon in Chicago. From Northern California through Florida, up into Canada, and all throughout New York and the Midwest. It was awesome. I got to be on a big stage almost every night.
How many shows have you done with them?
Probably 60, maybe. Maybe 55, but I got more this year too. I don't know, but somewhere in there. Man, it's just been, some of those theaters were the ideal setting for me. I love to have sound on both sides, and I can hear it through the room. And people are sitting down because I'm just playing acoustic guitar. So I'm in an ideal situation when it's a listening environment with just an acoustic. These amphitheaters, you got the best of both worlds. On the inside, under the cover, it was every bit of a theater, and sometimes beyond. And then you could also chill on a blanket like you're at the beach and watch REO in Chicago.
What's the typical crowd size?
Well, that tour, I mean, I'd say 12 to 13,000 was probably average, even sometimes during the week. But yeah, dude, that went on all summer for 2 months. And in the middle of it, I came home and we had Orion, and so I had a child right in the middle of it. Then I dashed back out there. It was crazy. I'm still coming down from it. Like the experience, the work, the time, that I actually completed it. I drove almost every single mile. My buddy D-Ski drove for about 100 miles. That's the only reason I had the energy to do the driving and do the work, is because the vibe at the show was so high. It was so energizing. That's the thing. I didn't need to be sleeping. I was like getting plugged in, dude. I'd go to REO's show and be like, whoa, shit. Like, this is a vibe, man.
What are you traveling in these days?
These days, a rental car usually.
I remember at one time you had what was it called? The Gray
Wolf.
The Gray Wolf.
The 33-foot pull-behind trailer.
That was a nice ride.
With one slide out. It was dope.
What were you pulling that with?
A Tahoe, a Z71 2006 4x4 Tahoe. And never heard a peep from the Tahoe. It could pull all day straight up a wall, and I never heard a peep.
Well, there you go. There's your product plugging.
So if y'all are making Tahoes out there, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, and it's having your home on the road. There's just nothing better than that.
Exactly, yeah. It's fantastic.
Of course, it came with work. It's not easy to keep that thing going at 80 miles an hour for 15 months. That's the hard thing to do. But it never got in the way until it flipped over. That was it.
How did that
And that was my fault.
What happened?
Well, it was the rain, too, and, whoever else might have been involved. Oh, but, so I just got my mirror splashed by a truck. I couldn't see anything. And it almost like a flyby. I was like, damn, that thing almost ran me over at nearly twice my speed, it felt like. And then the next thing I know, I see my trailer over there in the same mirror, turned sideways. I see the mural is twisted, and I'm like, nope. I was like, this is an accident. You can't get away from that. Not at this speed. And it was raining really hard on one of those super flat roads that actually gathers water. You see that on the interstate? Hello, guys.
Right.
Let's
That's
do
a
a
problem.
redo. You don't want your highway to gather water.
That's a problem.
So anyway, it was a water gathering highway too. So, but
everything lined up just perfect for an
the
accident.
weight wasn't perfect. Nothing was perfect.
Yeah. Well, what happened? What was the end result of all that?
I started a whole new world at Lake Jackson and just said, you know what? I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna get a diesel Mercedes that I can just buzz around town, and I'm gonna make a record, write and make a record. All right.
I'll give you a little bit more.
Well, let's see. I could play you one I'm more rehearsed at, or play you one because it's brand new. There's only one chance to play a brand new song, ain't there? Are we recording already? Okay. Won't you tell me what's the hold up? It's time to rig a pole up. Ice cold 12 pack yourself a bowl up. Let's roll, chasing the sun down to the dam where the river runs. Let's go and throw a line in. Now that the day is done, it's the perfect timing. About dark in the setting sun, we'll take a boat out on the water, maybe even have a little fun. Don't care if they're biting. Let's go and throw a line in. Yeah, let's go and throw a line in.
Christopher Allen Yates, and you've been listening to the Etowah Valley Recordings podcast, recorded in historic Cartersville, Georgia. My guest today was Michael Tolcher. To learn more about Michael, upcoming shows, hear more of his music, you can find him at michaeltolcher.com. If you'd like to follow us on iTunes, please go there and subscribe and give us the 5-star rating. You can find more about Etowah Valley Recordings at etowahvalleyrecordings.com.
Now that the day is done, it's the perfect timing. About dark and the setting sun, we'll take a boat out on the water, maybe even have a little fun. Don't care if they're biting. Let's go and throw a line in. I think this is a soft song. That's what I've been struggling with. This is a ballad, kind of a soft song. Oh, I got this Jones in my bones and a pole in my truck. With my friends or alone, all we need is a little luck. Let's go and throw a line in. Yeah, when I push it, it doesn't sound right. Let's go and throw a line in. Yeah, let's go and throw a line in. Let's go and throw a line in. Yeah, okay, it's soft there. I got it. Does that make sense? That seems like a soft song.
Yeah,
About fishing. It's like,
right?
chill.
It's not aggressive.
The Etowah Valley.